What is more important is that how you actually look at sustainability going forward. I think as a CEO, you just need to move everything at the right directions. I like to go to the Hai Di Lao, Sake Plus. I don't know, you heard of Sake Plus? Of course, I like to eat donuts. That's why I achieved platinum in my Lendlease master.
My daughter says Genki Sushi serves the best udon. I think Canton Paradise is very nice. Obviously, everybody likes Hai Di Lao. They more than 50% of the portfolio, is F&B, fashion. How do you hunt for these names?
Our investor, which is a Japanese, he was telling us that this is really a good brand, you have to bring it in.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Beyond the Boardroom, a series where we get to know a little bit more about companies listed on the SGX as well as their key appointment holders. My name is Natalie Ong and I am the equity analyst with CGS International Securities, and with me is CEO of CGS International Singapore, Mr. Malcolm Khoo. In this episode, we turn the spotlight on Lendlease Global Commercial Trust, or LREIT for short, and it is my distinct pleasure to welcome Mr. Kelvin Chow, CEO of LREIT. Hi Kelvin, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Thanks for joining us today.
Certainly.
First off, a very big congratulations on your 5th year anniversary. LREIT debuted on the SGX in October 2019 with an AUM of about 1.4 billion Singapore dollars across 2 assets, 313 Somerset and Sky Complex in Italy. 5 years and a pandemic later, AUM has more than doubled to about 3.7 billion Singapore dollars with the addition of GEM as well as a 7.7% stake in Parkway Parade. So it has definitely been an eventful period. Lockdowns and remote working has changed consumer behaviour, with e-commerce penetration doubling from 6% to 12%. The question is, have you guys noticed any shift in your own preferences or consumer behaviour?
If let's say I need to actually acquire some things that I know where I can get from, I will still go to the physical stores, to the mall. I need to actually understand it
and feel it,
touch it and feel it and see how it actually suits me. So because sometimes, product can be of a wide range, so you need to decide whether which is really suitable for me. But if let's say some things that I feel that it's very hard to hunt for, very difficult to locate where I can actually acquire it, then I will probably do it online. Very recently, I actually plan to do a customized wardrobe for my home. So I don't exactly know where is the best place that I can find a more reliable source and all those things. So I will go to online and see, maybe with the review, maybe this is a good source for me to engage. It provides another venue for me to seek access to some of the things that I need to acquire services on and all those things.
How about you, Malcolm?
I think there are more goods and services available online. A lot of the logistics costs has also come down significantly. Pre-pandemic, goods and services were available online, but the logistic cost normally is more than the cost of the product.
Yes.
So now I think whether you're getting products from the US or whether you're getting products from China directly, the cost of logistics has come down significantly. The delivery has come down significantly as well. And the choice of products, basically it's also wider. The reviews are also more reliable, because I think for the bigger websites, they tend to have some proper quality check on the reviews, that they're real buyers. That gives confidence, for the buyers. But that said, like what Kelvin mentioned, as consumers, for some items, you still want to feel it.
Yeah, like the shoes.
Like for ladies, maybe the clothing.
Sometimes it's important to want to feel it. Even like maybe if you talk about a restaurant, for example, you need to be physically there, because you want to enjoy the service, you want to enjoy the place, you want to enjoy the music, Those things I think is important. So there are some things that you can do it online, but there are some things that I think a brick and mortar shop will still be very, very...
Agreed. Post-pandemic, I think people tends to want to stay connected. So in that case, having a physical brick and mortar actually help us to do so. The other thing you mentioned, very critical, is also the delivery cost. That's why post-pandemic, we sort of encourage our tenants to have this Omnichannel
Yeah, Omnichannel, right?
strategies. So that, I mean, while delivery cost tends to be an issue, right? So what we can do is that we can click and collect and all those things, and it could be if you able to acquire certain amount, then we deliver to you free and all those things.
LREIT is the first S-REIT to achieve its net zero carbon target, and it achieved this in August 2022, a commendable 3 years ahead of its original 2025 target. So as of June 2024, sustainability-linked financing accounted for about 85% of your total borrowing or committed facilities. So my question is, how is this translated into higher earnings for LREIT? And going forward, what kind of costs and benefits can we expect from your future ESG efforts?
I think the higher earning is twofold. I think, of course, first of all, whether you get the immediate saving, which I think what you have correctly mentioned is that we do actually have 85% of these sustainability-linked loans. And this sustainability-linked loan, how it works is that if you achieve some sustainability target, you will have the saving. The saving can be quite substantial given that we have 85% of our loans, total quantum of our loan is sustainability. And if you look across the other REIT, I think we probably is the highest that have this. And we started it sort of way in advance. So the saving itself help us to actually invest in other initiatives to sort of either in the capex so that we can reduce our carbon emissions or in any kind of operations. I think what is more important is that how you actually look at sustainability going forward, which is more important. I think with all the fiscal and monetary policies that provided by government, and with all the changes that other players are trying to sort of get themselves into sustainability, you better be involved and better get yourself ready for that. I will always encourage people to sort of like look at it earlier, so that in that case you can see what are the things that you need to change. And in fact, if you actually have do a carbon audits, you can know that what are the low-hanging fruits that you can sort of reap it first to sort of enjoy the kind of saving than later.
Would you rather have gatherings at home or in a restaurant? And between downtown and suburban malls, where am I most likely to run into you? Where am I most likely to run into you, Brooks?
I think the malls have different feel. The downtown malls have a different feel from the suburban malls. So if you ask me, if I look at the Lendlease portfolio, right, like Parkway Parade, for example, it's something that reminds me of my teens. I used to hang out there a lot. I think Parkway Parade today, although the shop mix may be different, but it's nostalgic. So for people who live in the east, Parkway Parade is iconic. Yes. So again, I think if you talk about 313, I do go there quite often. My kids love some of the F&B options there, like Koi.
Interestingly, I always go to 313. I don't know why. I somehow gravitate there. Not trying to support you or anything, but I just end up there quite a lot.
You guys should consider yourself youth and young professionals, because we are young. That is the target audience we are trying to sort of attract. So we always refresh our offering and services so that make sure that we always cater for the right audience like you guys, right customers to come over to us. So I think that's why you can see that we don't actually have a very high retention rate. I mean, not as high as those some are on 90% or even close to 100%, but we tend to actually change some of these offerings so that in that case it continues to provide very innovative, fresh ideas for people to come over. I mean, a few of these brands that actually start off with us and they are so successful and they end up actually is everywhere in Singapore. For example, like the Love Bonito, even like 自茶三千, I'm not sure you know it. They started off in 313 and they are so successful and then they roll out. So it's like a test ground for a lot of new brands that they want to sort of penetrate to Singapore. And then with that, they are so successful and sometimes they are being approached by other of the mall operators to just get to start a store over there.
I think more than 50% of the portfolio, is F&B, fashion, accessories. Yeah. So maybe you can share with us, how do you hunt for these names? There are some new names that obviously you make an extra effort to go and hunt for these new names.
I think the credit will have to go to my listing department. Of course, we constantly stay on pulse to some of these international brands and all those things. So occasionally we will work with like the Singapore Tourism Board. Some of the sources is from them so that in that case they can introduce some of these new tenant to us to say that, hey, I mean, they seems to be want to penetrate to Singapore. Do you want to talk to them and all those things? So that's when we sort of have these fresh new things that come in.
Malcolm will be at Parkway Parade or 313. How about you, Kelvin? Where am I most likely to run into you?
Given me a choice whether I should organize a gathering at home or outside, I prefer it to be outside. There are really a lot of choices. I think F&B, there are new ideas that are coming out, and also there are new locations for people to sort of venture to. I think it's the experiential kind of things that attract me to go out and try different food. If let's say I were to give options, where should I go, where likely I will go to, I think likely will be 313. Just that I never see you there.
I was there last weekend. Like, legit.
Why is it that you're not there and I'm there?
So we all know that Singaporeans are passionate about food. So Kelvin, what are your top 3 favorite food stalls or restaurants in any of your Lendlease malls?
Go back to 313 because really I like to go 313 a lot. That's why I achieved platinum in my Lendlease Master app. I like to go to the Hai Di Lao. I think it's a simple way to get everyone together. I think the other places that I like to go is Sake Plus. I don't know, you heard of Sake Plus. People thought that it's just selling sake. It do actually have a wide variety of sakes. I think 20-30 different type of sake, but it also sell very good food. And of course, I like to eat donuts. I think if you Mr. Donut is one of my favorite. Yeah, that's exactly the one. And you know why we bring in Mr. Donut is because one of our investors, which is a Japanese, he was telling us that this is really a good brand. You have to bring it in. I mean, back to your question, how you source for the tenants, right? We either source by reverse inquiry. That means we feel that, hey, this is a good tenant to bring in, so that I can bring in footfall or whatever. Or it could be something that is from them coming to us and all those things.
Malcolm, do you have any favorite stalls or restaurants at Lendlease malls?
313. My daughter says Genki Sushi serves the best udon. The Canton Paradise is very nice. And I think one of your malls.
Yes.
And obviously everybody likes Hai Di Lao.
Hai Di Lao, yes.
Depends on which manager you know. So you have to queue.
So Kelvin,
Yes.
you recently won the Best CEO from the APAC Best of the REITs Award.
Right.
So what's your secret?
I think there's no secret. I think most importantly is that you have to find a good team members that help you to achieve the success. And of course, you don't need to have everyone have the same like-minded kind of things. You just need to have to set a target for them and understand how they behave, and then how to drive them to achieve a certain objective and those things. Some can always be very quiet, but you know that they are the silent achievers. Some can be more aggressive in asking for what do you go and give me after I achieve certain targets. So you have to know how to incentivize them and how to sort of play according to their behavior and how things to achieve that. So as a CEO, you just need to sort of move everything at the right directions in different ways to sort of manage the different behaviors and all those things. So I think that is a blessing. I managed to form this team that actually sort of helped me to sort of reach that target and goals.
And as they say, teamwork makes the dream work.
Exactly. That's why we will say that you have to have a dream team. I think that's how the dream and the team works together.
So did you buy them dinner? No?
I actually,
Double
to be honest, I have team dinners every month. And what I actually do is that instead of me deciding where to go, I say, you guys decide where you all like to try. So in that case, they will also be excited to say, oh, I like to try this and that. So they got different options. But I make it a point that while we're having this every month, there's a dinner, right? There has to be also certain activities in certain of the months. So that in that case, we can either create souvenirs or something like that for ourselves. So that in that case, you will remember that, hey, I did actually when at this certain age or certain years, I work with Lendlease REIT, and this is something that I do, and that give them a very sweet.
See, now Nat is looking at me. When's her dinner?
What happened?
That's my boss. You say buy dinner for your staff every month.
This, and actually, since you talk about the 5-year anniversary, I just give them a $50 voucher each for a good team member. Am I setting a too high of
Very high standard.
I have one last question for the two of you. While we do hope to see some strong retail growth figures, financial planning is also equally, if not more important. So do you have any financial advice to leave with our audience?
For everyone, who want good content, with regards to research, I think our CGS International, I think our research has won, more than like 70 accolades from institutional investor. Obviously for people who do not have time to read, then the ETF will be something that is good for them to start. But again, even if we talk about ETF, have the idea what you want to buy, right? So it'll be good to pick up some macro reports that we may have. This give you a view of what sector you may want to invest in, which country you want to invest in.
Yes, I leverage on CGS and also the Remiser to sort of understand more about the Saudi company. And to be honest, the Remiser even do one step further is to understand my investment profile. Why do I actually, what type of shares that I prefer? For example, I want a stable yield return share, and he will recommend me REITs because he know that REITs would basically are able to sort of have a very stable kind of distributions. If I say I'm a risk taker, he will also give me some kind of advice. Hey, which stock you can look at certain entry level and certain exit level to sort of put my money into it. So I really enjoy the service from CGS, and at the same time, I really give me a free of mind to sort of manage my own companies better, and also to sort of like put more focus to run the business and the REIT when the investment is sort of taken care by CGS and also my Remiser and all those things. So that's why I won the best CEO. It could be one of the reasons. Sometimes is how much you have free your time, then how much you can sort of use it to do something else.
So thank you, Kelvin and Malcolm, for joining us today and for all your insights. That is it for this episode of Beyond the Boardroom. Stay tuned for exclusive interviews and behind-the-scene insights.
Bye.
Bye.